Welcome to Qur'anomics. I am Qadi Tayyib Azdi, and today we have an article written by Sameh Askar titled History and Religion. The elders say that religion came to us with the bond of chains of narrations. And the answer, religion reach us through verbal and moral frequency, and both of them do not require a chain of corroboration, meaning that the Quran and the entire Islamic faith reached us through mutawatir or recurrence without the need of strict tell and inform or he said, she said. And the predecessors inherited this belief orally and they differed in it also verbally. All this without a chain of narration. Also, if the religion is based on the chain of transmission, then whose madhhab or denomination or sect does it belong to? Who started it? Who's more truthful? Who should people follow? Or who's better or more understanding? Al-Bukhari or Muslim or Ja'fari or whatever book they follow. It is well known that both men differed over the narrations. Some researchers have reached that there are more than 250 narrators and hadiths that are valid here and not valid there. Cherry picking. Which book exactly is the right one and the other one is wrong? It is also well known that some of the early Malikis, that's people of one madhhab or one denomination, say that Malik's Muwatta, that's the name of his book, is more sound than Al-Bukhari. So should we take our religion from the Muwatta of Malik or with the authentic chain of narration? A note that the Hanbalis do not consider Malik Muwatta and accused him of weaknesses because of most of the Muwatta are messages and correspondence. So here you have one sect accusing another sect, or another sect, a third sect, or a fourth sect. They're stabbing each other. Who's the most dominant one? Basically, Hanbali, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanafi. Saying that religion has reached us through a chain of narrators overlooks the most important thing, which is that the hadith narrations are based on history. So all narrations originally have one source, history, and the hadith of it. And even whoever presents the histories of religion, he presents them according to his personal point of view and his understanding based on his education and background. It cannot be said that the history of Ibn Khaldun, for example, is the history of true Islam, because he lived in a time and a place and his education level is different than any others. So his view is different. Also, Sahih al-Bukhari cannot be the true Islam, just a point of view. And the difference between, let's say, Ibn Khaldun al-Bukhari is that when you have, let's say, in America, we have Washington Post or the Washington Times, and then you have the cheap magazines, the Sun or the Enquirer or something like that. That's Bukhari, is like just cheap garbage material, for the public or whatever who will believe in it. And then you have Ibn Khaldun, let's just say, for the sake of comparison, that's like Washington Times, something like that. An important point is that the first ancestors of the Muslims for 300 years were collecting narrations and then supporting them, classifying them, or adopting them as a guide to understanding the religion. And it is not the religion. Hence, the titles of the books, Musnad, Al-Tayalisi, Musannaf, Abi Shayba, Muwatta Malik, all has meanings that is just, it's not the religion itself. It's just a way of path to understand, according to them. Al-Bukhari, or whomever wrote that book, was the first to invent the word sahih for narration. That means authentic. And when he searched for a title for his works, he did not find a better one than Sahih al-Jami', i.e., an example of the most correct of what was collected. And by this, he means that everything below his Sahih is false. Now, here Al-Bukhari moved the narration from just being a guide to understanding religion to pass a value judgment on the narration of others. And what Al-Bukhari did is what was sanctified by all of the hadith scholars later on, as they judged the narration of others to be false and their narrations to be truthful. This means that the word religion has reached us with the chain of transmission. Is the invention of Al-Bukhari, and the Sheikh surrendered to his way of thinking by bond of narration. The safest solution is to stop revering and worshiping any creature with a pulse, and to reject considering that what he wrote is equal to the Qur'an, and to consider that all hadith books, including a Sahih, are merely history books that can be taken and replied to, and their existence is important and necessary to visualize and measure the mentality of the early traditional Muslims and their societies. Just for measurement, that's all it is. But to consider these books a religion, this is the same distortion that affected all other religions, and because of it, true Muslims deviated from the founders' approach to become traditional mentally enslaved Muslims, as we see today from Sunnah, Shia, Sufi, Abadi, etc., all those. So we should learn one lesson, their mere history, and over time, people tend and learn how to worship them because they have no minds, no brains, no logic of their own. So they let the scholars think for them, and therefore they became enslaved. And people don't want to work too hard. So that's what they get. And this is the end of the article by Sameh Askar, titled "History and History and Religion." I am Qadi Tayyib Azdi. This is Qur'anomics, and we thank you for following. Thank you.